Ever feel like you need a secret decoder ring
Sure.
just to understand tech job titles?
Oh, definitely. Especially if you're looking around, maybe thinking of a career change, or even just, trying to figure out who actually does what on a project team.
It can get really confusing fast.
Yeah, the lines can seem blurry sometimes.
Well, that's exactly what we're tackling in this deep dive. We're going to unpack the key differences and similarities between three really vital roles: the business analyst, or BA,
The project manager, the PM,
and the product owner, the PO.
and understanding these isn't just academic. It really helps clarify how teams work, why some projects fly, and others, well, don't.
And maybe help you figure out where you might fit in, right?
Exactly. We're pulling some insights from a discussion over at the BA Dojo Podcast. They're great at making this stuff practical and easy to grasp.
Yeah, they really cut through the jargon. So our mission here is to get clarity on what each role does and, crucially, how they work together.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's start with the business analyst, the BA. What's their core function, really?
Right. So the BA, think of them as the investigator or the problem detective. Their main job is to deeply understand the business problem or the opportunity.
So they dig in first.
Yeah. They're asking what's really going on here. They talk to stakeholders, users, dig into processes, gather requirements, basically define what the solution needs to do to be successful.
Bridging that gap between, say, the business side and the tech team.
Precisely. They translate those business needs into something the tech team can actually build, ensuring the final thing, solves the actual problem.
Got it. Okay, so the BA is focused on the what and why of the problem and the needs. How does the project manager, the PM, fit in then?
The PM takes a different view. Their focus is squarely on the execution of the project. It's all about the how and the when.
Like getting it done.
Exactly. They create the plan, figure out the timelines, manage the budget, identify risks, like what could go wrong, and manage the resources, the people, the tools, everything needed.
So they're the organizer, the coordinator making sure the train stays on the tracks.
That's a great way to put it. They're ensuring the project is delivered smoothly, on time, and within budget. The when, the how much, the who.
Okay. BA on the problem, PM on the delivery. Now, the product owner, the PO, this role seems especially key in agile setups.
Absolutely. The PO role is really central in Agile, but the function exists elsewhere too. They are the champion for the product itself. They own the product vision.
The vision, meaning?
Meaning they decide what features get built and, crucially, in what order. They manage the product backlog, which is essentially the to-do list for the product.
And they base those decisions on?
Maximizing value. Value for the user, value for the business. They are constantly prioritizing to ensure the development team is working on the most important things at any given time. They represent the user's needs and the business goals.
Okay, interesting. So BA digs into needs, PM manages delivery, PO steers the product based on value.
That's a good summary, yeah.
How does this actually play out in practice? Let's use that example. The BA Dojo guys mentioned building a new online banking app feature, maybe specifically improving international money transfers.
Perfect example. So the bank wants to make international transfers better. Where does the BA jump in?
Right. What's their first step?
Well, the BA would likely start by talking to customers who actually make these transfers and also the bank staff who process them.
To find the pain points.
Exactly. What's frustrating? Is it slow? Are the fees confusing? Where do mistakes happen? They gather all that detail, maybe map out the current process, really diagnose the issues. They define the requirements for a better system.
Okay, so they uncover the problems and define what better looks like. Then the product owner.
The PO takes that information, that understanding of the user needs and problems from the BA, and looks at the bigger picture. They decide, okay, based on our strategy and what delivers the most value, making these transfers simpler and faster is our top priority right now.
So they prioritize that feature for the development team.
Yes. They put it high up in the product backlog. They own the why this feature is important now. They articulate the vision for this specific improvement.
Okay, the BA defined the need. The PO prioritized it. Now the project manager comes in.
To make it happen. The PM takes that prioritized feature, the simple and fast international transfers, and builds the plan to deliver it.
The how.
The how, exactly. Yeah. How long will design take? How long for coding, for testing? Who needs to be involved? What are the risks? They manage that whole process, keep the team on track, handle dependencies, report on progress.
So they orchestrate the actual building and release of that feature.
That's it. They ensure the simple and fast transfers feature gets delivered according to the plan.
So boiling it down for that scenario, BA asks, what's broken with transfers and what do people need?
Yep.
PO decides fixing transfers this way is the most valuable thing to build next.
Right.
And PM figures out, okay, here's how we build and release that fix efficiently.
You've got it. Each playing a distinct, critical part.
That really clarifies how they collaborate. It's not like they work in total isolation.
Not at all. They have to work closely together. Communication is key.
Okay, for quick reference, can we maybe summarize those core differences again?
Yeah.
You mentioned a table format.
Yeah, let's do a quick recap. The business analyst is focused on understanding the problem and defining the solution. Their core questions are, what's wrong and what do we really need?
Okay.
The product owner is focused on shaping the product and prioritizing the features. Their main question is, what's most valuable to the user and the business?
Got it. Valuable.
And the project manager is focused on delivering the project successfully. Their core questions revolve around, how do we deliver this on time, within budget, and manage the risks?
Problem, value, delivery. That helps. And those analogies were quite good too.
Ah, yes, the BA Dojo ones. The BA as the detective digging for clues, understanding the situation.
Right.
The PO as the visionary, setting the direction, seeing the ideal product. And the PM as the coordinator, orchestrating all the pieces to make the vision a reality.
Detective, visionary, coordinator. I like those. They stick. But, even though they're different, success really hinges on them working well together, isn't it?
Absolutely. They are completely interdependent. You can have a great product vision from the PO, but if the requirements aren't clear, BA's job, or the delivery is chaotic, PM's job, it falls apart.
Or great requirements and smooth delivery of the wrong thing because the PO wasn't focused on value.
Exactly. It's a three-legged stool. All need to be strong.
So think about someone listening now, maybe pondering a career move.
Yeah.
How might they figure out which role clicks best with their own skills and interests?
That's a really practical question. Well, if you're someone who genuinely enjoys digging into complex problems, you like talking to people to understand their perspective, and you're good at bringing order to, let's say, messy situations.
Then business analyst might be a good fit.
Very likely, yes. That analytical, investigative, people-oriented side is key for a BA.
Okay, what about the product owner profile?
If you're more drawn to the big picture, thinking strategically about where a product should go, if you enjoy making decisions about priorities and features, and you're comfortable owning that vision,
Then PO could be the path.
that could be a great match, yeah. That strategic decision-making, value-focused mindset is central to the PO role.
And finally, the project manager. Who thrives there?
If you love organization, if spreadsheets and timelines are your friends, if you're good at planning, anticipating problems, managing budgets, and crucially, bring people together to get things done,
Then project management.
that's probably where your strengths lie. That structured, coordinating, risk-managing aspect is pure PM territory.
That's really helpful framing. And it's not like choosing one path
Mhm.
locks you in forever, right? I think you mentioned people move between these roles.
Oh, absolutely. It's very common. Many people start as BAs, for instance. It gives you such a great foundation in understanding the business context and stakeholder needs.
And then they might move into,
From there, moving into a PO role, where you leverage that business understanding to make strategic product decisions, is quite natural. Or developing the planning and execution skills could lead you towards a PM role.
so the skills are transferable.
Highly transferable. That core ability to analyze, communicate, and solve problems is valuable everywhere.
So it sounds like all three roles, BA, PM, PO, are just fundamentally important pieces of the puzzle in creating and delivering anything in tech today.
They really are. Each brings a unique and necessary perspective and skill set. Successful outcomes depend on all three working effectively.
And maybe, especially for anyone thinking about business analysis, it feels like a role with real staying power. Because that need to understand the business side, to bridge that gap, that doesn't seem likely to go away.
That's a very strong point. Technology evolves, methodologies change, but the fundamental need to understand what problem you're solving and why it matters for the business that's constant. The BA role is arguably foundational.
So wrapping up, just understanding these distinctions gives you, the listener, a much clearer view of how tech products actually get made.
Definitely. And whether you're looking for a career or just curious, maybe think about which focus resonates most with you. Are you drawn more to defining the problem like the detective BA, shaping the future like the visionary PO, or making it all happen like the coordinator PM?
A good question to ponder. It tells you something about how you approach challenges yourself.